Welcome everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on classroom management. Today, we'll be exploring two key concepts, catching them being good and the secret to behavior. We'll discuss practical strategies to recognize positive behavior and understand the core principles behind effective classroom management. So, let's get started and discover how to create a more positive and productive learning environment together. Recognition reduces inappropriate attention-seeking behavior. As Charles Schwab wisely said, recognition is a powerful tool. When we acknowledge and appreciate positive behaviors, it encourages people to continue acting in constructive ways. This slide reminds us that by focusing on recognition, we can actually decrease unwanted attention-seeking actions. Instead of reacting negatively to disruptive behaviors, offering genuine appreciation can redirect that energy. It's all about reinforcing the kind of behavior we want to see more of. And this ties directly into our broader theme of fostering a positive environment through encouragement. Remember, the key is sincere appreciation. That's what truly develops the best in people. So, when we recognize effort and achievement, it creates a cycle of motivation and growth. This approach not only reduces inappropriate behaviors, but also builds trust and morale. Ultimately, recognition and encouragement are essential tools for effective leadership and team development. Let's talk about stopping the stream of corrections. Often, we focus so much on pointing out what's wrong that we forget to acknowledge what's right. It's really important to recognize and affirm the positive aspects. For example, when someone does something well, a simple acknowledgement can make a big difference. You'll notice on this slide, the symbol represents mistakes or corrections, which can sometimes feel overwhelming or discouraging. But then, we see the symbols. These are the moments where we acknowledge what's done correctly. The key point here is to shift our focus from constantly correcting to acknowledging the right things. This helps build confidence and encourages continued positive behavior. And that brings us to the tick experiment, an approach that emphasizes recognizing positive actions rather than just pointing out errors. It's a simple but powerful way to create a more supportive and motivating environment. So remember, stop the stream of corrections, acknowledge the right things, and you'll foster a more positive and productive atmosphere. Let's talk about why avoiding weak, well done statements is so important. When we give feedback, it's best to be sincere. That means truly conveying our genuine feelings and appreciation. Being genuine helps build trust and makes the feedback more impactful. And of course, we want our praise to be descriptive. Instead of just saying, "good job," it's more effective to specify what was great, what exactly the person did well, and how it made a difference. These elements, being sincere, genuine, and descriptive, are key to giving feedback that motivates and encourages growth, aligning with our overall goal of fostering a positive and constructive environment. Paul, this portrait is fantastic because of how you made the eye come to life. What I mean is, the way you captured the detail and expression in the eye really draws the viewer in. Why is that so important? Well, the eye is often considered the window to the soul, and by making it come alive, you create a connection with the viewer. It shows your skill in capturing not just the physical features, but also the emotion and personality of the subject. This small but powerful detail elevates the whole portrait, making it memorable and engaging. So, when we give praise like this, it's about highlighting specific elements that stand out and explaining why they matter. It encourages artists to see what they're doing well and motivates them to keep refining those details. Remember, effective praise is genuine, specific, and connects back to the overall goal of creating meaningful art. Let's talk about the importance of providing a written record of success. This approach is really powerful because it creates a tangible reminder of achievement that students can refer back to. It's especially helpful for students who might feel uncomfortable with public praise, giving them a more private way to recognize their accomplishments. Additionally, when we make phone calls or send letters home, it can have an immediate and motivating effect. These simple gestures show that we notice and appreciate their efforts, and that recognition can inspire students to keep striving. Finally, taking praise home is a great way to extend that motivation beyond the classroom. When students share their successes with family, it builds their confidence and encourages a supportive environment at home. Overall, these strategies help reinforce positive behaviors and boost motivation, which ties into our overall goal of fostering a supportive and encouraging learning environment. Praise only works if the teacher is respected. Remember, status really matters here. When students see that you genuinely respect them, your praise carries more weight and encourages them to keep trying. However, it's important to avoid praising skills that students have already mastered, like using a fork. That kind of praise can feel insincere, as if you're just checking a box rather than genuinely acknowledging effort or progress. So, the key takeaway is to focus your praise on genuine growth and effort, while being mindful of the student's perceived status and the sincerity behind your words. This approach helps build trust and motivation, which are essential for a positive learning environment. Let's talk about some key tips for giving effective praise. A pro tip is to catch students at the end of the lesson for a quick, private, "well done." This way, the praise feels more personal and meaningful. I like to avoid giving direct judgment in front of the class, as it can sometimes embarrass students. Instead, I prefer to use "I like" statements, which are more encouraging and positive. Now, when it comes to students with low self-esteem, I need to be especially careful. Sensitive students may tear up their work if they receive praise publicly, so it's best to praise them privately. This helps build their confidence without putting them on the spot. And remember, when praising, always focus on what the student did well, rather than just their overall performance. This approach creates a supportive environment and encourages growth. Connecting these points to our overall theme, it's all about fostering a positive, respectful classroom where every student feels valued and supported. Let's talk about stopping problems before they even start. It's all about being proactive rather than reactive. The key here is to really identify their interests, what motivates them, what they care about. When you understand their interests, you can better address their needs and prevent issues from escalating. Next, it's crucial to know their triggers, those specific situations or topics that tend to set them off or cause disruptions. By recognizing these triggers early, you can manage the environment or approach differently to keep things smooth. And central to all of this is the teacher-pupil relationship. Building trust and rapport creates a foundation where students feel understood and respected. This relationship is often the #1 secret to preventing problems. When students trust you, they're more likely to communicate openly and work through conflicts calmly. So remember, the goal is to be ahead of the problem, understand what drives your students, and foster a positive connection. That's how we create a more effective and harmonious learning environment. You know, sometimes situations can change overnight in the most miraculous ways. Suddenly, everything looks different and better, almost like a complete turnaround. That's why building a trusting relationship is so crucial. When students trust us, they're more open to change and growth. One powerful way to foster that trust is by breaking the prophecy of doom, that negative expectation that some students might have. Simply being nice and approachable can make a huge difference. And don't forget to reach out to the students who seem the most difficult first. Often, they're the ones who need our support the most, and taking that first step can help build a genuine bond. Ultimately, building that bond is about creating connection, understanding, and a positive environment where change can truly happen. When we focus on relationships, we open the door to those overnight transformations and meaningful progress. When we show genuine interest in our students, they tend to listen more attentively. It's about making that connection and demonstrating that we care about who they are. One effective way to do this is by discovering common ground. When we find shared interests or experiences, it helps build trust and respect naturally. Another useful tool is using a questionnaire to explore their hobbies and passions. This not only shows that we're interested in their lives outside the classroom, but also gives us valuable insights into what motivates them. And to keep track of these interests and personal details, I recommend the record card strategy. It's a simple yet powerful way to remember key information about each student, which helps us personalize our approach and strengthen those relationships. Remember, when students feel understood and valued, they become more engaged and receptive to learning. That's the core idea behind creating a positive, connected classroom environment. Everyone's a winner when the relationship comes first. It's really about prioritizing genuine connections and understanding others. When we get to know them, really take the time to understand their needs and perspectives, anything becomes possible. Building trust is at the heart of this. Trusting relationships lay the foundation for long-term success. And to create that trust, we need to satisfy key needs like empowerment, belonging, and fun. Empowerment helps people feel capable and valued. Belonging creates a sense of community and connection. And fun keeps things engaging and positive. So, as we wrap up, remember that focusing on relationships and satisfying these needs leads us to success. When we put relationships first, everyone benefits. It's truly a win-win. Thank you for being part of this journey towards stronger connections and sustained success.